Let's make some carbonara. Very easy dish, but could also be difficult, so I'm going to show you how I do it. We have water boiling already. I'm going to use a large pan also to make the pasta after, so use the largest you have. Guanciale, it's kind of like a pork cheek, some pecorino romano, eggs, pasta. I love bucatini. I couldn't find my normal brand, so I'm going to try this company out. I've never used these before. And let's pop into this guanciale and cut it into cubes. Basically, you want the fat to render down nicely. You're going to use the fat also in the sauce. If you can't find guanciale, you can use pancetta. You could use bacon. No one's going to call the cops on you. I got this at my local big box store here in America. It was King Cullen, if you're familiar. It's like a Stop and Shop, a Walmart, those kind of places. All very similar. They'll probably have it. If they don't, use the other options. The cheese and the egg mix together. So I'm going to start putting the cheese in the bowl. I don't use a specific amount of cheese. I look for a texture. As you can see, the cheese is very finely grated. That's what you're looking for. But I do want a little more in there to start. Then we'll get to adding the egg mixture. First, I'm going to get that pancetta in, the guanciale in. So yeah, I'm so used to using pancetta. A little bit of olive oil to help it start, and then just break it up with a wooden spoon just so the pieces that you were cutting aren't stuck together. And then we're going to lower this to a low heat and just let everything render out. At that same time, I like to put the pasta in. I always make way too much. As you can see here, that was probably enough for me alone, but I add more. And now we're going to do 4 eggs, 3 are full eggs, and 1 is just the yolk. That extra yolk gives it a little extra creaminess, which is the main lusciousness of this dish. Throw those all into a bowl. Always wash your hands. I can't stress that enough. Check on your guanciale, make sure that it's starting to render. And give your pasta a stir. You don't want anything sticking together. Everything in this dish is very much keeping track of it constantly, so you do gotta have 8 arms here to really make this. Throw those eggs into the cheese and then whisk together. What I'm looking for here is somewhere between a paste and a homogeneous sauce-like ingredient. That you could tell is too wet. That just looks like eggs. So we're gonna add more cheese. That's getting there. That's almost right where I'd like it to be. That's kind of the vibe I'm looking for. It's loose, it's runny, but it isn't liquid. Check on your pancetta. Oh, I said it again. Guanciale. Maybe I should have just used pancetta. It's rendering down beautifully. Some of the fat pieces are a little too large, so I'm going to take those out towards the end. Adding a little bit more cheese just to get it exactly where I want it, but there we go. That's absolutely perfect. Move that to the side. We'll need that at the end. Everything here is looking exactly how I want it. We're getting nice and crispy. The fat's rendering out. So I'm going to kill the heat and let this sit and wait. I took some pasta water out, separated it, because you're going to need that. Make sure your heat is off over there on the guanciale. And now I like to add a splash of this hot pasta water into the eggs. Kind of temper them in a sense. This way they're far less likely to scramble later on. I also add a splash here into the guanciale. Use it kind of to get up some of the brown bits from the bottom, but it also starts to help emulsify everything just from the start. Emulsification is your best friend here. See if your pasta's ready. Best way to do that, obviously, to just taste. Yep, they're good to go. So now we're going to add this pasta into the big dish. This is why I use a big one, because everything comes together here, so as much surface area as you can get is really important. Mix that up a little bit, start to make a little bit of a sauce out of it to begin with, and then we'll add in the egg mixture. I like to do it a little bit at a time, so in case you get to a point of oversaturation that you're happy with, you didn't add it all. So feel it out, add. See, nothing is getting clumpy at this point. Nothing looks like scrambled eggs. That's what you want. The heat is off at this point. You're not cooking. You're using the residual heat to make this all happen. And just keep adding in that egg cheese mixture until you're completely happy. Add in a little bit of the pasta water also. This will help emulsify and make this sauce-like. Also add a little heat back in without using the burner. Pepper your dish at this stage. Pepper goes a long way in this dish. Also, if you can add air into the mixture, that also helps with emulsification. So flip that around, move it around, back and forth, whatever you can do, and then plate it up. See, this isn't runny, it's not overly clumpy, it's a beautiful coating of this sauce on the pasta. And I still have a ton left over there, but it's saucy, it's delicious, it's creamy, it's not runny, it's not egg scrambled over pasta. Top it with the cheese, and then you are good to go. You have the most delicious carbonara, and it is so easy.